Hey everybody, I'm Old Surf Dad. Welcome to the Current Surf Show. And with me is T-Bone. And T-Bone still has a Christmas tree up. What's going on over there, mate? What is it? It's January 24th.
I
It's
know,
a
dude.
month from Christmas Eve.
I'm ripping that bad boy down straight after this show. I've been away. I've probably been home 2 days and 7 weeks. So no one else can take our tree down except for me. So it's coming down, man.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Hey, I want to jump right in, T-Bone, and talk about the Lexus Pipe Pro. This is a preview. And what we're going to do first is look at the surf report and the forecast. And I had said in the other video where we talked about John Joh and 5 WCT competitors out for the Lexus Pipe Pro, I'd said that the surf forecast didn't look that good, but now it looks like it's improved. Let me add this and let's talk about it, T-Bone. Starting on the 27th, T-Bone, that is the Monday, the first day of the waiting period. It looks like it's going to be Kona winds, kind of onshore, sideshore for the first week of the event, with one day there on Wednesday the 29th that could have some fun waves, and I could see them sending the women out or doing the opening round of the men's and women's on that day with a possible, I see them do this a lot, T-Bone. They do the overlapping heats through the opening rounds especially to try to get those out of the way.
Yeah. And then pick the eyes out of it. I have noticed that for the Lexus Pipe Pro, it's got the longest contests window. All the other contests are all 10 days apart from the pool, of course, but Pipe's got, 12-day contest window.
Yeah, I think it's the longest one of the entire tour. And if you go to the website, I have the number of days, and I also have linked up the surf forecast links, which we'll look at in a moment. But carrying on with this forecast, T-Bone, when we get into the second week, we start to see the surf improve. And going into storm surf, let's pull this up. We can see it's kind of jumbly and messy with all kinds of unsettled weather there around Hawaii. What typically happens, T-Bone, is the storms run up along the Aleutian Islands headed towards California and send waves to the Hawaiian Islands. And it's sort of messy. I think it sorts itself out in that second week. And what I wanted to show you was, before we get there, hey, I want to talk about this book for one moment. I have a fantasy league, the OSD Fantasy League, on the website, and you can win this book autographed by John Joh Florence. It's a beautiful coffee table book with some unreal photographs. So there's my plug. Join the Old Surf Dad Fantasy League. You're all welcome to go. And here's what I wanted to get at, T-Bone. As these storms that we saw before, as they go by the islands, what typically happens is at the front end of the storm, you'll get northerly swell into pipeline, and then as it rolls by, it'll come back towards the west. And here's how that affects you and your fantasy team, is that when you have a northwest swell, if you get a straight northwest swell, and you can see the chart here from 315 to 330, that is pipe and backdoor. That is A-frame perfect pipe. Now, rarely does it hit that window for a long period of time. It has to be a perfect swell. What you'll usually get is you'll get a few days of each one of these, depending on the direction. But the more north in the swell, the more it's backdoor, and the more west of swell, the more it's cranking lefts and tubes at proper pipe. And the other thing, and again, this is a real generality. I know there's going to be experts getting into the comments going, no, dude, here's how it works. That's fair enough, but this is just a real generality on it. And I would say that there's, on a north swell with the back door, it also likes to have a shorter period to a mid period. You don't really want a real long period. Yeah. And this is without talking about the sand buildup from north swells and the northwest swell sweeping it out. and I don't know if you ever seen it, T-Bone, but if you jump in the water at Pipeline, right in front, it sweeps you down into the channel and sweeps you out. And that's a classic North Swell feature. And it makes it easy to get out for the for those pipe bombs. So
That's epic, man.
what I want to do next is show you all real quickly. Where is it? The website. And if we go there, I just want you to see that there is the storm surf that I had. Here's Wind Finder that'll show you the direction of the wind, so you can do a surf prediction on that. Here's the buoy readings, and if you want to know more about the buoy readings, if you go to my Pipeline 2024 video, in the first couple minutes, I describe how this all works. And then finally, the Surfline forecast. And I want to go back there real quickly, T-Bone.
Yeah, same, mate. It's looking interesting, the back end of the waiting period, isn't it?
Yeah, I went a little fast on that, and just so you guys know.
Like the 5th of February looks, was it the 4th or 5th of February? Looks interesting. I mean, it's a long way out, but you never know.
Yeah, and that's the thing is this first week is a little more sure on what's going to happen. And I can tell you it's looking Kona wind. It's looking like just that one day, that Wednesday. And by the way, that Wednesday, the 29th, it says 5 to 7 feet. That to me has a lot of north in it. That looks like a backdoor sort of day, that 29th. But then as we move into that second week, this looks like a lot more like proper pipe and two-way peaks as this swell gets into it.
Oh, I know.
And that's
yeah,
go
interesting. I was just going to say, I mean, just what you're telling me and what you're showing us is they'll try get the opening round out the way at the start. They'll probably hit Turtle Bay Golf Course or whatever you do over there when there's no surf. And then going into the business rounds in the first few days in February, and it looks promising. So cross our fingers. Kelly gets through the opening rounds and gets to the back end of that waiting period.
Wow. That's your dream, isn't it?
Oh, mate. You know it is.
I can't wait to see your picks. We're doing our picks in the next video, but what we're going to do is move on, and I'm just looking at this, and I'm calculating my fantasy team based on a small start, and in the middle rounds, it'll be pretty good, and hopefully they'll be able to run the finals in this day here, an 8 to 10 foot day.
Wow.
That would be pretty sweet. You know what I want to look at?
Pipe swell direction by going Surfline, hey? That 300
primary swell, dude.
12.
Look at this too. That swell is northwest, so it's two-way peaks. Ooh, that would be really good if they get that. So choose wisely for everyone out there. That's your surf forecast. What I want to do now, T-Bone, is jump into some nerdy stats. And I know you've got some, and I do too. Tell me what you got. Start me off with something good.
Mate, we're both natural footers, and I was having a look at, let's say, the last 24 years of CT pipe events. Over the last 24 years, a natural footer has won 21 times, and that's dominant. So if you're looking at a fantasy surfer, you got to say a natural footer, 21 out of the last 24 years has won. I mean, that's pretty dominant. You know, obviously Kelly's won 8. Andy's won, what, 3, 4?
He's won 4.
4. You know, you've got, I can think of Jake.
In the last 24
Taj,
years. So
Bede, Adriano.
2 of those are Idolo and Gabriel Medina would be 2
Correct.
of those goofy footers. I don't know who the other one is off the top of my head.
You go back 71, Jerry Lopez.
Yeah. In fact, we're going to talk about that. That's such a great stat, T-Bone, and I may not listen to it with my picks. But we'll see.
it asks the question.
You're making me change my picks, T-Bone. I don't want to do that. I'm
dude,
staying strong.
Are all the best pipe surfers, goofy pipe surfers, not on tour? Because I know there's some insane goofy pipe surfers out there, and I think when you've got Kelly, John, Andy, obviously they've just, especially Kelly and Andy, they've dominated. Is an advantage being on your backside at Pipeline? Do they get deeper? I don't know. Contests is showing that that they've got the edge.
I think the thing that you're really seeing in this stat, T-Bone, is the fact that backdoor plays such a crucial role in scores. And I would say to you that on those medium-sized days, that a lot of those 9s and 10s, and you saw it last year with Katie Simmers, is
true.
People getting barreled at backdoor and having that as an outlet for, going front side. But I was going to bring up. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something.
I was, when you look at backdoor, it looks an advantage being on your forehand, don't you? You don't. I mean, you could say the same thing about pipe, but backdoor just looks a little bit more unpredictable sometimes than going left. What do you think? Like, I've obviously never surfed it, but it looks like an advantage being on your forehand for backdoor.
I've been out I've not surfed it on any day that's significant, but I have shot it on those days, and it chandeliers, and it's unpredictable, and it's sectiony, and I see those on their front side have a better opportunity to position themselves and change and be dynamic within the tube. And whereas the left, I think you would have a better time going backside on the left because you can kind of set your rail. You have to come up into it and then set your rail. And I'm not saying it's not as challenging. It's probably bigger and gnarlier. But I think it's a different skill set, I guess would be the way I'd say it.
Yep.
And let me see. Speaking of skill sets, dude, here's what I have for you. I was looking up stats. T-Bone and I gave ourselves the assignment to look up some key stats, some neat stats that we could pull out. And mine is that it's not very easy to repeat. It's not very easy to go back-to-back pipe champion. No. And I thought John was going to do it the year that Kelly won. But there's check this out. Since the Jerry Lopez days, Jerry Lopez, Roy Russell, and Larry Blair repeated back-to-back in the 70s. They each got a repeat. But from then, there's only 3 people who've repeated. It's Tom Carroll, 1991, Andy Irons, who did it twice, 05, 06, 02, 03, and Kelly, who did a three-peat, 94 through 96.
Yeah.
And all those guys have this in common, that they were all world champions. So that sets up, this stat is like, can Katie repeat?
Well, dude, I like it.
Because she obviously won last year, and there's no women's stats going back beyond 2021 where they had that thing where they surfed half the thing in Maui and then Tyler won. And so it was Tyler, Carissa, and then Katie as your champion. So there's an interesting stat. That's what I came up with. And what I wanted to say, as far as if you want to really nerd out, I'm going to show my webpage one more time.
Hey, just a quick one while you're showing that up.
Not
many Hawaiians have won pipe. I mean, Barron won last year, and obviously John. And that was going to be one of my.
That's a good one, dude. That's a good one.
Don't always pick a local to win.
Yeah, and I can think both Michael with a broken arm and Derek Ho have won, and Johnny Boy Gomes won. And that
Jerry
was
Lopez. Is he Hawaiian, or was he
Jerry
mainland?
Lopez, yes, and Roy Russell. We'll count them as they live there, I guess.
Yeah.
But actual Hawaiian, that would be, definitely the Hoes and Johnny Boy. I'm trying to think of others. And I mean, I don't know if you include Andy. It's hard to, make that call.
Well,
but
they grew up
anyway,
in Hawaii, so yeah.
yeah.
Of course
So let me change this tab while we're talking about. Oh, I was just going to show you one more time on my website. I just want you guys to know, because I put a lot of features in there. But if you come down, there's a secret section here at the very bottom. Here's all the past results, so we can see Katie, Carissa, and it was Moana Jones Wong who I'm forgetting. So Moana Jones Wong is a local that has won it, and then it was Tyler in the year in 2021 when she sort of won that half pipeline contest. But if you go all the way to the bottom, there's these nerd stats. And in nerd stats right here, there's power rankings. And if you click on that, I'll share this tab. Our buddy DYL with Surf Metrics has provided these power rankings, T-Bone. And what you can do is if you go to the bottom, you can switch this down here and you can go to WCT, which is women's CT and men's CT. But I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek. Joao Chianca is in the top position with a power ranking of 98.6, which is pretty impressive.
Wow.
And I don't want to nerd out too much, but you guys can come in here. And then the other one is, in the women's, it's Tyler Wright. So I just wanted you to see that, T-Bone. And we'll go back to our regularly scheduled nerd stats. But
Dude,
you guys,
there's so much you can really get deep into your picks, can't you, with all that information?
If you want to get into it, it's there and available. And let me tell you what's coming is I have not put a link there yet because he's still working on it. But DYL is in the bunker, and he's come up with this website that is going to blow minds. You guys are not ready for it. He's been working on it the whole off season, and it's not quite ready for prime time, but it's close. And he's throwing stats out at us. But when that website's available, I'll put a link to it, and you'll be able to go deep dive into competitive analysis and all kinds of things. And I know a lot of you like to do that. But anyway, do you have any other key stats? I think I had one more.
I mean, I've only got one. I mean, it's hard to go past the GOAT at Pipe.
Yeah. How many wins does he have?
He's had 8 Pipe wins. He's had 12 final appearances, 56 excellent wave scores above 9.
Jeez.
And I think it's his 27th event appearance this year, or 26. Maybe it's more, but yeah, 27. I've got 27 anyway.
Yeah.
So, mate, he's saved the show. Let's face it. He's saved the show.
It's an impressive record that will never be beaten. I can say that at least in my lifetime, in our lifetimes. But it's unreal when you start to dig into his stats, and we'll see how he goes in this one. I can't wait to see your picks in the next video, which you can see in the link in the description. The last pick I was going to talk about, which goes with that, Kelly's in Tier C. And I would say that this is an interesting stat. Last year in the men's, T-Bone, more Tier B picks, more Tier B surfers, I should say, won events than Tier A surfers.
Wow.
So something to keep in mind as you're picking.
Make your power surfer a Tier B.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad choice about more than half the time last year. And the other thing is wildcard wins. We were talking about this a little bit. The 2 wildcard wins I have here are within the last 2 decades. Are Jamie O'Brien in 2004 and Moana Jones in 2022. And we've got a couple wild cards we'll look at when we make our fantasy picks. And I think if we went back way further, I think Johnny Boy would have maybe been a wild card and come through the trials. And I remember he was the one, you know how people like point like at the judges tower. He was the
Yep.
first one to do that. Just a little history, because he had like, it was in the dying moments and he had gotten a wave or a barrel. And I think he was pointing at the judges tower like, I dare you not to give me the score. As if you don't know who Johnny Boy is, look him up. He was gnarly, and you wanted to give Johnny Boy the score. But anyway, what were you going to say, T-Bone?
I was going to say, yeah, safe move. I'm surprised he didn't do the shotgun like what Andy did at Dean Morrison at Chopes.
That was a good one too. Look up these claims. These are epic claims. I want to go finally in the last section here. I want to go into the opening round and just you and I are going to pick our favorite opening round heat. I think I can predict yours. What is it going to be?
Oh wow! I mean, Heat 4. Jeez,
Yep.
Jack Robbo and Kelly, and hey, Sammy Pupo has a real good dig as well. It's hard to go past Heat 4. Everyone's going to be watching that one.
Who would you pick in that?
Oof. It's Jack Robbo's year. I reckon it's Jack Robbo's year. Yep. I'm going to go Jack. Kelly,
All right,
if
so I
Kelly's
wanna-
going to get anywhere, Kelly's going to win elimination against, a rookie.
Yeah,
who
we'll
just
see.
scraped through. But I'm picking Jack.
Let's pick Jack and see what happens. So 61% say that Jack's going to win. And you all can use this to your advantage if you want to go in and look at the opening round and click on it. And you can do this throughout the event. And you can see where all the, let's quote unquote, money is, where everyone thinks or where their picks are going to be. And you can zig while other people zag based on that percentage if you'd like to. Now, my heat is going to be Heat 2, which is Yago, Liam, and Al Cleland, just because I'm interested to see how Al Cleland does. And these guys are all dark horse, under the radar type of characters that could really make a push. Just for fun, let's see. I'm going to pick Al Cleland just to see how much love there is for him. Well, there's not as much as I would have thought. They got Yago taking this away with 72%, but he's above Liam O'Brien. So these are interesting things. You can go through and pick who you think will do well. Let's do one more. Leonardo, the Italian stallion. Let's say we pick him, who has he has a great record at Pipeline, especially when it's large. He's getting 25% to EE's 56%. Let's carry on to the women's, T-Bone. Who is or what is your favorite heat here? I can't remember. What was mine? Oh, I know what mine was.
I'm going Heat. Do you want me to go first, mate? I'm going
go
Heat
for it.
1. I'm going Heat 1. Sally Fitzgibbons, not Sally Fitzgerald. Sally Fitzgibbons.
Sally Fitzgibbons. Let's
She's
see
not
where
the
she's
daughter
at.
of Terry Fitzgerald, by the way. Yeah.
I'm doing a disservice, by the way, to the podcast. And by the way, this heat that we're looking at, Tatiana Weston Webb, Sally Fitzgibbons, Luana Silva. Sally Fitzgibbons has 18% of the votes, let's say. And Tati rightfully has 74%, followed by Luana Silva at 8%. My heat that I think is going to be a cracker is heat number 4. Brisa Hennessy, Tyler Wright, and Lakey Peterson. Again, all surfers who are really talented, evenly matched. That's going to be a grudge heat, we'll call it. And I'm counting on Brisa Hennessy, and 55% agree with me. Tyler Wright, 33%, and Lakey Peterson, 12%. And we just saw in the power rankings that Tyler Wright is at the top of that because she's had some decent heats when it's medium to small sized.
Mate, I did see a clip of Tyler pulling into a slab at backdoor.
Yes, she did get a slab 2 years ago.
Decent one. Super decent one.
And we're going to talk about Lakey Peterson a little later when we actually make our picks, and that's going to be in the next video. Unless you had anything else, T-Bone, I think we've hit the preview. I think everyone's ready to make their picks.
Hey, Heat 6 will be pretty solid too. You know, Gabriel Bryant, Sawyer, and obviously Aaron Brooks. That'll be an interesting heat, first opening round for the women's as well.
I like that you stopped me. I'm going to pick Sawyer Lindblad just for fun. She's 11%. Everyone's got Aaron Brooks at 55% and Gabriel O'Brien at 34%. That'd be a good heat too. Hey, there's some great heats in this opening round. Pardon?
Just click on Heat 5, Molly Picklum. Let's see what everyone's picking out of Molly, Betty Lou, and
it's fun, right?
Heat 5, man. Click on that bad boy.
Let's pick Molly Picklum. 44%. This is evenly matched. 44% for Molly Picklum. 36% of those surveyed pick Betty Lou, and 20% pick Vahine. That's about the most evenly matched one we've uncovered here. It's like a lottery ticket, mate.
It is. It's going to be interesting. So many stories with every one of these surfers. Like, will Molly back it up? Obviously had that second half of the year where she went a little bit lame, but she still made the final 5. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go.
I can't wait. Dude, I'm ready. You want to make some picks?
For sure. I'm picking them right now as we speak. It's been a
well, I can't wait. We're going to do that in the next video. Check it out in the link below, or there's a small link in the screen that you can click on and go and see our picks. Thanks everybody for watching. You.